Good evening and welcome to KUTT-A-PROMO. I'm your host, the Bearded Wonder, Jason, the Sensation Tuttle. And with me is my co-host, Season 2 American Gladiators champion and former WWE superstar, the one, the only, Rico Constantino. How you doing tonight, Rico?
Hey Jason, how you doing?
Pretty
Doing
well.
great. It's warm out here in Vegas, 109 today. So,
Oh, wow.
oof.
Uh,
And people could tell me it's a dry heat. Heat is heat. It's hot.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So tonight we're going to do things a little different. This is our debut episode. I want to talk about a couple points in your illustrious career, and then talk a topic that's concerning everybody is COVID-19, the pandemic. Um, got a couple questions. I'd like to get your insight and cut a promo on them. Um, so let's start with your American Gladiators run. Um,
Okay.
how did the opportunity for you to try out come to you?
Well, it was basically 89, early 90. I was working on, at that time, I was living in Southern California, and I was working on what they called Santa Ana Airport, which we now know as John Wayne Airport in Orange County. So I was on the construction crew there. I was laborer, working cement and stuff like that. Well, I got my leg twisted in the rebar, and
Mm,
I sprained or almost tore or strained one of my ACL or MCL, one of the ligaments. So I was at home resting, and a commercial came on. And Gemini popped on the screen. He says, "All you contenders, do you think you got what it takes? Try out for the American Gladiators. Coming to a town near you." Blah, 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 blah. And there was like a 4 or 5 city tryout. And since I lived in Southern California, I went to Universal Studios and I tried out there. Now, I might be off with the numbers. I've heard anywhere from 12 to 15,000 people tried out uh, for the second season. I thought it was always the first season because the first season was a pilot, but they didn't count that as a pilot. They counted that as a season. So I think a guy named Lucian Anderson was the first pilot season champion. And then Samuel Goldwyn and 4 Point, everybody picked up the show. And we were at Universal Studios, and that's when it got the big stage thing and all the lights and the audiences. And it came, what you saw, the 90s
right.
Gladiators. So I said, well, that guy's talking to me. So I started working out and training and then got tapes of the show, started watching the show. And back then there was Laser, Nitro, Gemini, Titan, and Malibu. Those were the five guy gladiators.
Uh-huh.
So I was watching what they did, kind of like watching football films, So
Uh-huh.
I said, okay. I started running in the beach sand, 40-yard dashes, running up a hill and then slightly jogging down a hill and then running back up. And like I said, doing the 40-yard dashes in the beach sand. I would climb baseball backstops on the inside to simulate the wall.
Hmm.
Uh, started, just getting my self-defense stuff back, because the Powerball, you got to go against them. You got to be fast and quick. You can't just have one skill and be on that show. So I
Right.
trained and got my tryout. Actually, the producer, Eitan Keller, saw me go through the contender tryouts. He had me go through the gladiator tryouts as well. And I was like, well, I was 218 pounds. So I didn't make the gladiator one. They ended up cutting Titan and Malibu, and they put two other gladiators, Turbo and Thunder. Now, Turbo was 260, Thunder at least 275. And I was a contender. And we had 2 days at Universal Studios to go through the events, familiarize ourselves with the events without the gladiators. They even
Right.
brought in a Marine from Camp Pendleton to teach us how to joust. And then we got to
Okay.
go through the Eliminator and stuff like that. And what I didn't know then, which I found out later, is as we were going through each event, they'd set it up. They were seeding the contenders: first seed, second seed, third seed. Because they run the fall and the spring season side by side.
Right.
So they run it side by side. So it takes about 10 days to film the whole season. and there's a fall champion and a spring champion, and those two go head to head, and you have a grand champion. So it's about a 10-hour day. So it's a long day, and those who didn't have like martial arts or some kind of sports background, you could tell in the beginning of the show they were all excited, and then towards the end, like the second to the last event, preliminary, they were all tired because they stayed pumped up all day. You know, me, I would do the event, and they didn't have a locker room for us. Our locker room was under the bleachers where everybody sat. So I'd sit under the bleachers, and the guys would come in and they gave, okay, Rico, 5 minutes, Powerball, 5 minutes, joust. And I'd always be under the bleachers, and I would rock. And I would just sit in my chair and just think of the event, just go through the event in my head, whatever I was doing. One day, Larry Zonka walks in, and he goes, Rico, you got 5. I said, yep, okay, sir. He goes, yeah, I know what you're doing. I said, what am I doing? He says, I used to do the same thing. He says, you're rocking, you're getting yourself ready for the event. I said, yeah. And then during the show, he dubbed me Rockin' Rico for the show.
Nice.
So
Nice.
out of all those people, the 12 or 15,000, they picked 20 men and 20 women and like 4 or 5 alternates. Because the Gladiators were going through contenders like IHOP flips pancakes. They were going and racking people up. You know,
Right.
they were serious. So
Yeah, so my favorite, I used to watch it all the time. My favorite event or challenge was, I guess it was the obstacle course where you, was it where they had like the rocket launcher?
oh, assault, where they shot the tennis balls at you.
Yeah, I love that. You know, you had the rocket launcher, then you had like the grenade balls or something. You had like targets you had to hit.
Our weapons stunk.
Yeah.
I'm an expert shot, and I couldn't shoot with a crossbow. Believe me. And the balls at the end, they were Nerf. They weren't even a softball. It was a Nerf ball.
So no weight to them. Huh.
Oh, nothing to them. And those they were brand new Penn tennis balls, and they were coming at you about 100 miles an hour. Now, the farther you were away, not bad. The closer you got, it hurt.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Yeah. So, how is it similar to pro wrestling, and how is it different?
Similar, compared to pro wrestling.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're both in front of an audience.
Right.
Okay. We're both competing. Okay. But I will say this. Wrestling is not fake, people. Please don't call it fake. You're insulting. Okay. It is choreographed. Okay. But it's still real tables, real chairs, real landing on your back. I didn't get 2 torn patellas. I didn't have a table's steel bar go through my arm during the Survivor Series 2002. I didn't have a torn hamstring 3 different times by Bubba Dudley being fake. Okay. The Gladiators was a promotion. So it did have the fanfare of a wrestling event. You needed that to get it on TV because that's like one of the first reality sports TV things.
Right.
But it was a real competition. There were people there to make sure that it was fair. Our judges were judging the judges. And if fouls or errors occurred, the show would stop and they would discuss it, and things would be looked over, videotape was rewatched. You know, it happened to me one time. They weren't sure whether I was hit with the tennis ball on the grenade launcher or it hit the handguard. So tweet, everything stopped. They reviewed it, and it hit my knuckle. It hit like my pinky. So I was disqualified. But that's what I'm saying. It's a real competition. Wrestling is not something real. You don't win a wrestling belt. Vince gives it to you. The American Gladiators, I won. I beat 20 other men and gladiators 4 different times to be champion. But you need the showmanship of wrestling for people to watch it. Okay, so I think, I don't know for sure, this is my own opinion, I think they took some of the fanfare from sports entertainment. You know, because the first season, I noticed they focused a lot on the gladiators. where Malibu came from, Titan, Gemini, and they didn't concentrate too much on the contenders. Well, when Samuel Goldwyn got in there and Eitan Keller, who also produced a show, I don't know if you heard of it, America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah. Love
Okay.
it.
Okay. So you know the quality of producer he was.
Yes.
So he said, we're going to focus more on the contenders and their backstory because that's what's going to get the people involved, and we're going to back off. And it worked for many years, so it has to have that fanfare. And the fans there, they were trying to switch them. They switched them like every 3 hours because it was a part of the tour of the Universal Studios thing. And I mean, by the second quarterfinals, I had a fans. They were bringing signs when I was competing, and they weren't leaving. They were staying the whole day, and they had Rico signs at a Rico section, and I didn't know a lot of these people.
Right.
But I tied in with them. They tied in with me, and I got along great with the Gladiators. There was one time that Nitro took a kind of a liberty, and he and I discussed it, and I told him, don't do it again, and he never did. Whistle to whistle, go all you want. After the whistle, don't cheat.
Right.
So, I mean, that's how I think it compares. But it's a real competition.
All right. Nice. So I want to go ahead and switch to your wrestling career, primarily WWE. Me personally, I remember when you debuted for with Billy and Chuck. So I was watching some clips of your past matches, and I have to ask, what was it like wrestling and actually beating the legendary Ric Flair?
Well, now you're talking two parts of my career.
Okay.
You said me entering the WWE.
Right.
I started wrestling when I was 38 and a half. So in a small league called Empire Wrestling Federation, ran by Jesse Hernandez, and a tape went up. I got a 10-day tryout a few months earlier in Connecticut. They liked me. I got signed July 99. I went to OVW. Now, I went there as a wrestler. I was taught as a wrestler. When they brought me from the dark matches, they brought me in as a manager.
Right.
I knew nothing of managing. And they didn't even tell me what to manage. They said, you're Billy and Chuck stylist. Hairstylist, fingernail stylist, clothes stylist. What do you mean stylist? Flesh it out. You work it out. And they walked away. So I'm like, oh my God. Okay, all right. So we're in Canada. So I got to go out with them. So I figure I don't know how to manage. So Kenny Bolin, the Star Maker, was my manager when I turned heel. So I tried to remember the things he did when he was managing me. I was going to try and put some of that to where I could look halfway decent managing Billy and Chuck, who already held the titles.
Right.
So the first night came out, and I got in, and I got a spin kick in and knocked one of the Hardys' head clean off. I think it was Matt's heads off. So I asked Billy, I said, Billy, I don't know how to manage. He says, don't worry, I got it. Just do what I do. Do what I tell you. You'll make it. And I listened to Billy Gunn, and then all of a sudden I started thinking about the gimmick, and after hours after that day, I said, okay, I know what to do. I'm going to be an image consultant from New York. That's what I'm going to, that's the style. There you go. And then I called the Godfather, and I said, yo, Papa Bear, Bear, where'd you get all them crazy clothes? I got to get me some clothes. And he told me, I got it down in the swap meet on Vegas Drive and so. I said, do you mind if I take a few of the outfits you wear? He goes, no, go ahead. Because he was semi-retired. So I ran down there and got the tiger stripes, the alligator suit, the snakeskin, the tight YMLO shirts. I put belly button rings on my ears. So if I wore a red shirt, I had red lenses, blue shirt, blue lenses, blue earrings, the Wolverine chops. I had better sideburns than Wolverine had.
Yes.
I should have been the Wolverine.
There you go.
But that's how I started. I mean, I came in almost tripped. I almost was out before I was even in. And then after so many times of me interfering in the matches, the people wanted to see me get my butt kicked,
Right.
you know. And Vince held off for a long time until we feuded with Rikishi and stuff like that. And then once Rikishi got a hold of me and then stink-faced me in the corner, the crowd went bonkers, you know, because I'm finally going to get mine after months of, you know, keeping the tag belts with Billy and Chuck.
And you actually won the tag belts with Rikishi. They made you tag with them.
Well, that was, see, it was Vince against Rikishi.
Yeah.
So to get Rikishi, I was Rikishi's mystery partner. So we were all three going to beat the tar out of Rikishi. Well, it backfired, and somebody, I think Chuck super kicked me, and then I landed on Kishi, and Billy was taken out with something 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden Kishi and I are tag team champions. So for the next, I think, month or something like that, I kept trying to sabotage him and telling the guys, I'm trying to get it back. But then I'd be like, no, I don't want to give it back. I don't want to give it back. I'm trying to get it back. Oh, no, I don't want to give it back. I don't want to give it back. You know, but yeah, we had to give up the titles again. So, but that was first.
So eventually you kind of broke off with them, and you were was
3 Minute Warning.
You were with 3 Minute Warning, and then after that you were your own. You went with Jackie Gata, Miss Jackie. Is that correct?
Well, what happened was we did the wedding, okay,
right.
with the smash up. 3 Minute Warning came in. Eric Bischoff was the preacher after the makeup, and I went to Raw, and I got to wrestle Ric Flair, because I think that was your question.
Yes.
To wrestle Ric Flair, just to wrestle him was just amazing. And then to get to go over on him was just double amazing. You know, that's one of the highlights of my career. And then I was with 3 Minute Warning, and Umaga, Jamal, whichever you want to call him, ended up getting into some trouble, God rest his soul, and he got suspended or whatever. We couldn't have 2 Minute Warning.
Right.
So Rosie went with Hurricane. He was a superhero in training. And then Triple H approached me and asked me to do this exotic Adrian Street knockoff. And I said, well, is Adrian still alive? Well, yeah. I said, well, I got to meet him. You know, I'm not just going to plagiarize his character. Plus, I want to find out how he made it successful. How did he make it so successful in the 70s? I want to ask permission and see how I can bring that character into the millennium.
Mm-hmm.
So they flew me to Gulf Breeze. I spent hours and hours with him and his wife, Linda. And of course, when he did it in the 70s, he was, you know, stepping on her and pushing her down, treating her. You couldn't do that, you know. I couldn't take that character. I mean, my gosh, I'd have every woman in the world on me. So we turned it around, and then I said, well, I need Jackie Gata, because Jackie, I believe, was on her way out because of that Raw match she had with Linda Miles against Trish, and I can't, it was Tori Wilson or something, I don't know, but they were sending her back down to OVW, and they were going to give me Melina from ECW. And I said, well, for this to work, I need Jackie Gata. And we went back and forth. She says, well, she'll never wrestle. I said, I don't want her to wrestle. I want her to dote over me, so nobody really knows. Is he gay? Is he not gay? What's up with this guy? He wears makeup, he flaunts, he does this and that. But when time comes, he kicks your butt.
Right.
He ain't as weak as you think he is. So he comes out of nowhere, and this beautiful, which she was, beautiful girl is just doting all over him. What does she see in him that we don't? So that's what kept that character going. And with both characters, like I said, they're the exact opposite of who I am and who I was in life and who I really am in life. You know, police officer, bodyguard, stuntman, gladiator champion, power team. You know, that's nowhere near those characters.
Right.
So,
well, out of the two, which did you prefer? The stylist version or the Adrian Street version?
Well, I'm going to say I prefer right now, because I've never really thought of it until this just now. Actually, I preferred the Adrian Street character, because I had full control over that. Mm-hmm. And Jackie was just as equal to me. If she had an idea, she'd say it. And if I had an idea, and we'd talk it over as a team. So we were a good team. And I mean, as far as tag teams, I didn't know anything about tag teams. I mean, I came out a couple times as a singles wrestler, and I was, because I'm still new wrestling. So Billy was basically in charge there, which he did a great job with all of it until the wedding. But I got to be more creative with the Adrian Street character, and I wasn't the stylist anymore. I tried to get rid of the sideburns when Charlie joined, but they did get in a feud with the Guerreros.
Right.
And have them jump me in the locker room and then shave half my sideburns off. And
wow.
Charlie come in and see me knocked out. What happened? And all of a sudden I wake up and this is where, how Charlie's so phobic, he's doing all that. Well, this would have made a turn for him to where he actually cared about me as a person. And then I would have shaved, I'd have went to that match with the Guerreros with half the sideburns and we would have fought, but then I'd have taken them off. You see, because I was trying to graduate from the stylist to make this character its own.
Right.
Because that's how people identified with me is the mutton chops.
Right.
So, but of course, the writers, since they didn't think of it or whatever, I don't know, they trashed the idea. So I never got to get rid of the sideburns.
Like I said, I remember watching you on TV. I remember you as the stylist and vaguely as the street character. But rewatching some clips, I really enjoyed the Adrian Street version of Rico. Like getting ready to take the stink face. He's getting the lips. Getting the lipstick ready. Like, come on.
I took it for Charlie. See, I took it for Charlie.
You actually pulled him out of the ring.
Jackie Gaeta came out with the Carmex. I put it on and see, she got her involved, threw the chapstick and come on, buddy, I dare you, See, but people want to be entertained.
Right.
And that's where I think, because not everybody could be a Stone Cold. Not everybody could be a Triple H, John Cena, Randy Orton. You get too much of that, there's no entertainment value, And so I did what I could do. I mean, I wasn't going to get bigger those guys at 40 years old because that's when I debuted on TV at 40. So I just said I'm going to entertain people the best I can. He gave me these characters. This is what I can work with, and I even told Vince this is on, and so did Billy and Chuck. We'll do this as long as we do not offend that lifestyle. We do not disrespect that way of life, because those are people too. And Vince went along with it. I mean, there was sometimes I had to tell the writers, snowball in hell's chance I'm doing that.
Right.
Ain't doing it.
I'm glad you brought that up. Did you receive any backlash in the ring, out of the ring, personal life with doing or being associated with the Billy Chuck storyline?
Nope.
No?
Nope. Even not at all. In fact, I think that community embraced us. We even got the GLAD Award. It should be sitting in Stamford, Connecticut, on how we portrayed that way of life. So they weren't offended. I remember when I was with Jackie Gaeta, the Adrian Street character. We did a video called Rico's Makeover, and a fan won a chance for me to give him a Rico's Makeover. And we were in New York, and there was a school for those people around the corner. Well, they found out I was there, and they all came running over, and I spent an hour and a half talking to all of them, and they asked me point blank, are you gay or are you straight? I'm straight. I said, I am. And they would say, well, wow. And how do you do it? I don't know. I'm an actor, I didn't do research. I just thought, and like a method actor would. But no, I've never, not one fan, straight or gay, ever come up to me in a negative way, ever, with either of the characters. Either. I mean, when it was time to boo me and Rico and this and that, when it was time, then they did what they did. But out in public, no, never.
Right. Okay, so now this is the part of the show that we're going to have our sponsor. So, guys, we all treat the boys with special care. So who do you turn to? Well, look no further than Manscaped.com. Manscaped.com has created a line of specialized tools and products to take care of the boys the proper way. Use promo code WrestlingFuture for 20% off at manscaped.com. Get Manscaped today. The boys will thank you. So now on to
The boys will thank you.
the boys will thank you.
You mean the general and 2 colonels?
That's right, especially during this heat.
Oh,
So now, so now we're going to talk about a current topic that everyone is dealing with these days, and that's the COVID-19 pandemic.
yeah.
Um, what do you think, or how would you grade the government's reaction to the pandemic?
Well, a lot of people are blaming the government. But don't forget who sat on it for, I believe, over 8 months. China. I believe when the government finally got real intel on it, they moved on it. Okay, so it's kind of hard to put together a bomb after it's exploded. Once it's exploded, that's it. Then you just got to do your best to quarantine what you can. But 8 months, people flying in and out. I mean, they don't filter the air in a plane. All they do is recycle it, and they don't get it from outside. And the filters they have in the plane are not the type of filters that filter out viruses. So that's just counting that. Doesn't count people in the room, people touching, grabbing things, wiping their eyes, rubbing their nose, picking their teeth, food out, whatever. Sneezing and not covering their mouth, and 2 minutes later somebody walks through it. Many ways this can be done. I think the government's trying to do the right thing, but the government can't do everything for us. We have to start taking charge of our own little bubbles. Start protecting us. Now, the masks can't stop you from getting it. Okay? The mask stops you, from what I've read, from giving it. So why people don't wear masks all the time is very confusing to me. Okay? That means if you don't wear a mask, and I just had it done yesterday once, today twice, and yesterday was a woman with a female with a kid, so I didn't say nothing, but I just gave her that look like, you selfish little. Yeah, but the two today, I shamed them. I said, "Where's your mask?" One guy I was getting food for my friends, and we were walking in a pet store, and I came out of the car with my mask on, and the guy walking, we're both headed toward the door. He doesn't have a mask on. And right on the door, it says you got to have a mask to come in. So as I walk in, he's walking in, but there's no mask. He's not reaching for a mask. But he makes a left real quick, and I keep going. And I'm like, okay, mind my own business. I'll just get what I need to get before he sneezes or coughs somewhere, and I'll get out of there. Well, I'm looking at the food thing, and all of a sudden he comes around the corner. And now he's coming up within the 6 feet. Hey, man, where's your mask? He goes, who are you? You don't work here. I said, where's your mask? And all of a sudden, an employee behind me heard. And she came up before anything happened. She goes, sir, you have to have a mask to come in this building. So I expected him to turn around and go outside and get his mask. Nah, reached in his pocket, pulled out the mask and put it on. That is just ignorant.
Right.
Ignorant and selfish. That you will not protect your fellow man when you have the ability to, and you're selfish and you're just going to give it to anybody. Okay? Right. And I think everybody needs to get involved and be in charge of their little bubble. Maybe I shouldn't have said nothing. But I didn't say nothing first, but he was coming towards me. He was getting in radius of me. So now I'm in jeopardy.
Right.
So that's why I said something. But if everybody just does their little part, all these little parts will add up. Wear the mask for a while. Let's get control of this. Let's let our people, whoever, because I know the world's working on it, get a vaccine for this. It's going to take a year at least to get a vaccine. At least we could try to stop it. We're getting a resurgence here in Nevada because they opened up bars and did this, which they recently just closed them all again. Yeah. I haven't been to the gym, even though they've opened the gym. I have not been to the gym because not only do you have people breathing hard, now they're forcing the air out. They're sweating on the equipment. Yeah, they might wipe it, but that's not COVID-19 disinfectant because the gym's not going to pay for that.
Right.
And how am I going to know how long? I don't know how long this stays airborne. this virus. You know, somebody could have sneezed 5 minutes ago, and I could still walk through it. But I cannot work out with that mask because the body needs oxygen. Your brain needs oxygen. Okay, what do we do with people who hyperventilate? We give them a bag, we put it over their face, and they breathe into it to calm down because they need the carbon dioxide. We're doing this on purpose. So we're denying our brain oxygen and rebreathing carbon dioxide.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Here in Virginia, I'm in the Hampton Roads area, Norfolk, and they're we're seeing spikes. Not as bad as you guys or Florida yet, but the governor came out today and want to say, look, guys, you need to do your part,
yeah,
uh, or I'm going to have to, take y'all back down a phase or two. So
yeah.
it's nothing to um, uh,
It's
you
not a
got to
joke.
take it serious. It's not a joke, right?
It's not
You
a
got to take
joke.
it seriously.
And uh, I mean, you got to do this distancing right now until
Yeah.
they figure out what it is. We can't even stop it. Now they're saying the tests are not 100% accurate on either way.
Right.
You said you might have it, but you might not have it, or they said you don't have it and you could have it.
Mhm.
And my doctor, I had my doctor visit, but I did it through Zoom, so I didn't
Right.
have to go in. But his partner, his medical partner, has COVID.
Mm.
The doctor has COVID.
Right. Right.
So, it's serious. I mean, if you got a good immune system, you're going to build up antibodies, but you can
Right.
still pass it.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen my dad, and he's 90, in a restaurant, and he's in a facility, 24/7 facility. Thank God, his nurse has Messenger, so at least he can see me when he's in dialysis. You
Mhm.
know, I am going to be totally heartbroken if he passes, and I can't see him because of COVID. But I'm not going to take the chance of me maybe having it and giving it to him because he's in a static-free environment right now, and I miss my dad. I love my dad, and he keeps asking, "Where are you, Rico? Where are you? I love you. I miss you." It hurts, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to save you, Dad. You know, I work in the public. It's not like I work somewhere where there's no public. I'm in the public. Right
Right.
now, I'm a security guard and I work at the DMV. And all day I run around, put it over, and don't wear your mask like this. Don't wear your
Yeah.
mask on your throat.
I
Put it
don't get
over
that.
your nose and everything. Okay, if you're gonna wear it properly, please, because this
Yes.
is no good. No good at all.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm asking the people out there, say, come on, come on. We're hurting ourselves. Okay? Don't load your own gun.
Yeah.
Okay? There are
Exactly.
plenty of people in this world that'll load the gun for you and shoot it. So don't
Mhm.
put bullets in your own gun by walking around without a mask. Come on. Common
Yes.
sense.
Exact. You nailed it. Common sense. Everybody, wear your damn mask.
Yeah.
All right.
And do some social distancing. I mean, if you got to go somewhere, yeah, you got to go to the store. You got to get gas. I got to go to work. There's things I got to do, but I haven't been to the gym. I miss the gym. I'm doing push-ups and sit-ups at home, and I'm probably going to get on Amazon and buy a barbell set and some dumbbells and start working out in my garage. I'll have to do it at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I
Right.
got I'm not going to go to the gym and get it and pass it to the people around my neighborhood or my family. So okay, sorry,
So
I got better get off my
no, you're
soapbox.
that's you're shooting you're cutting a promo, and that's why we're here. Um, so let's take it from how it's affecting the pro wrestling community.
Oh,
Um, so the first question is, I kind of want to get your opinion on should should the major promotions WWE, AEW, Impact, should they have halted their productions like the other sports organizations? NFL, MLB, they all stop and they're still trying to decide on what they are going to do for a season. So, do you think those promotions should have halted as well?
I believe everybody should stop until we knew what was going on. Everybody should stop. Now the difference here, now I'm not saying it's okay or not, wrestling needs an audience. Sorry. You're just as part of the show as we are. Hi, Kitty. Don't look at my fish. But MGM did this about 3 or 4 weeks ago. They had a boxing match. These two people had a box. They were sequestered for like 2 weeks. Everybody, his camp and this guy's camp, the referee and the announcers and the judges from the athletic commission were all sequestered, and they did this boxing match, but it was televised. Okay, so that's a real competition. You really don't need an audience for that. Football, don't need an audience for football. Baseball, you like it, it reacts, but you don't need it. These guys get paid to play, and we could still watch it if they did things safe and did it a different way. Can't do wrestling. You can't bring guys from the Performance Center out. You can't bring the good guys from AEW, the bad guys, because they know when to boo, when to hiss, when to cheer, when not to, get involved. And another thing just drives me nuts is when WWE, they come out and they run to the turnbuckle and stand there and raise the belt to nobody. That I'm like, oh, you're just killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Why do I need your entrance music? Okay, you and you are going to fight. Walk in, ref, do your business. Okay, you're not going to get the pops. Okay, I don't know. I don't have the answer where to go, but it needs fans. Wrestling needs fans. Boxing, MMA, football, baseball. Don't need anybody in the stands. Those guys, they get paid to play, and they will play if it's safe. Now, I don't even know. I mean, I heard the college kids that tried to practice contracted COVID-19.
Yeah.
So this COVID thing has really stopped the world from spinning for a while. The world went, and then it's us trying to push the world, forcing. We're forcing a square peg in a round hole. Knock it off. We first figure what this is. If it's mutated, figure out what it is so we can at least slow it down or stop it. Okay, and then find out its weakness. And unfortunately, that takes time. Right now, the world, I think, is working together to try to do that. But right now, we're going to have to stop our daily luxuries. That's a luxury. Football's a luxury. Baseball's a luxury. That's entertainment. Okay? What's more important? Watching your favorite football team and watching the guy die because he's trying to entertain you at home?
Right.
He's got a family too. And you're making him play? I've heard rumors that Vince was rumors. I can't confirm it. Rumors that he was making people wrestle. Why would you do that? Especially somebody like Roman Reigns, who came off a blood type of cancer. Why would you put him in a position where his immune system may be or maybe not? I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I saw Roman after when they came to Vegas. He said he was fine. He said he was doing great. That's before this COVID thing. So why would he put himself in a position to maybe die because COVID got into his body? Don't make somebody do that. Stop that. And we're going to have to go kind of like Stone Age for a while. We're going to have to step back from all those little pleasures that we want all the time. Step back. Let us get ahead of this. Not let that stay ahead of us. Don't let COVID-19 beat us. We need to beat it first. Now, if we have to retreat a little bit, back up, 2 steps back, 1 step forward. 2 steps back, 1 step forward. Okay, little bits, baby steps. That's why I think the governors need to get on their states. Now, the federal government needs to do what it needs to do. But I'm not all for the federal government stepping in and taking away the governor's power and all of a sudden absolute rule. I'm not for that. Now, if you want to advise, counsel, help the state governors so they can take control of their state, because it's their state, and give them aid, then do that, federal government, Mr. Trump.
Exactly.
I think that's what you should be doing, assisting all the governors. And the governors go down to whatever, mayors, whatever. Everything has to start at the top and come down. We got to have order. We have to have structure. Because right now, when we don't have structure, this COVID's going to win.
Right, right. So with that, there's been reports that WWE wants to try to bring fans in. I mean, they've been testing it with their guests, their NXT wrestlers, and even some of their wrestlers have contracted COVID. Do you ever see it going back to live events like it used to be?
If we start doing the right thing now, we'll get it back. But we're half-assing it.
Right.
America, we're half-assing it. Okay, I'll give you here's the perfect example. It's from the first movie, The Karate Kid. Mr. Miyagi. Okay, when he told Ralph Macchio, karate do yes, karate do no. Never do karate so-so. You get squished, just like grape. COVID prevention, yes. Or COVID prevention, no. Do not do COVID prevention so-so. You'll be dead.
Right.
Okay? This is just as serious. So either we are going to prevent COVID and do it the right way, or we're not going to do it the right way. And we're all going to, and it's going to be like it is now. Like how you're asking me these questions. Stop, okay? I'm sorry you're not going to make money on this. Blame whoever started this. Now, I got my own ideas on who started it, how it started. And I don't know if you want to get into that, but
maybe another episode.
Yeah, but I already know where I'm pointing that finger. And I'm not just using one. I'm using all my hand. So nothing's pointing back at me.
Right.
And I know where to put the blame. That's my own personal thing. So I hope they don't go back to live events because they're just prolonging this. Exactly. We've got to stop it. Stop the spread of this. Like I said, Vegas has now got it's not even the second wave. We're still in the first wave, and it's got a resurgence.
Wow. So do you think there was pressure by the community to reopen early? By the business leader, you said the bars, the gyms. Do you think they were pressuring the local governments to open?
Oh, there was one culprit, one reason, one culprit that caused all this resurgent. The love of money. That's it. There was one culprit, the almighty dollar.
Right.
Because people weren't making the money. Okay? That's what made them do this so quick. And then they tried to do the social distancing in there. Wasn't working.
Right. I mean, I agree. I could see both ways. You see the numbers of the unemployment, just skyrocketing, and it's really really sad. I mean, it's like you said, we've pretty much have come to a standstill. We're practically Stone Age. I personally am fortunate that I have not been laid off or furloughed or anything, but there are others that are not so fortunate, and I can't even imagine.
I think that's why Trump is going to have another stimulus come out for these people, and I think it's going to be more than the last stimulus. I mean, I'm making half of what I normally make, but at least I have a job. Okay, and I'm very thankful for that, and I'm working. Because of my law enforcement background, I'm working for the state of Nevada at state of Nevada facilities, Department of Transportation, DMV, mental health, welfare, unemployment. I'm working at the state facilities to make sure things stay safe there. I wear a mask all day. I wear it all day, 12 hours. Now you're telling me you can't wear it for 15 minutes, go into a grocery store and come back out and take it off? I have to wear mine 12 hours. Okay, so believe me, folks, I know it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's not fun. And you get lightheaded. I have to step outside sometimes and take it off and just take a couple of deep breaths and then go, okay, back into work, shoot, put it back on, and then go back in. But it's something all of us are going to have to agree to do if we're going to get through this.
Yes. Yeah. So, everyone, I know what you're thinking. How can I get one of those sweet Wrestling with the Future t-shirts that the Bearded Wonder is wearing? Well, it's real simple. You join our Facebook page at facebook.com/Wrestling with the Future. And the ordering details are pinned right at the top. We're currently running a 3 large t-shirt special only for $20. Just $20. Yes, that's what I said. So join today, get them, help promote Wrestling in the Future. And well, Rico, we're kind of at the end of this first show, so I want to thank
Wow.
you. Not only being the co-host, but this is my first time, folks, and you've been an incredible resource and help in helping me get started. Um, is there anything that you would like to promote? A website?
Well, I have nothing to promote.
Okay.
I'll promote Wrestling with the Future.
Awesome.
I'll promote this show. I'll promote Angelo, who's been very kind to me. I do want to thank all the fans. Again, I say it every time, who donated to my PayPal account, my GoFundMe when I was sick in 2016. That helped me save my house, helped me buy food for my granddaughter and an ex-wife, and helped me get through a period of just despair, because it took 4 to 6 months for me to get my medical retirement from the law enforcement. So I was without money. Cauliflower Alley, I'd like to thank. They paid my 1 month mortgage. Chris Jericho uh, donated $3,000, came to my house, interviewed me. I mean, that was something great. I mean, he stood behind me, and everybody else that put me in their prayers and their thoughts. And I love the fans, and that's what I miss about the business. I don't miss the traveling or the arenas,
All
but I miss interacting with all the fans. So I just want to say, God bless to you all. Please stay safe. Do your part. That's all you can do, is your part. And let's get through this COVID stuff, and let's get back to where we used to be, but better. Okay?
right.
But you got to do your part. Got to do the baby steps to take the big steps. Okay, folks? Pleasure being with you. Thank you.
Thank you. So, again, this is Cut a Promo, a segment of Wrestling with the Future podcast. You can find us on any of the social channels. Like I said, facebook.com/Wrestling with the Future. We have a YouTube page. You just search Wrestling with the Future. And our new Instagram page, you can follow us there. This show, Cut a Promo, will be coming to you every Tuesday with different topics, and hopefully I have Rico again, and I'd like to dive a little bit more into his illustrious career. So with that said, tune in next time. The same beard channel, same beard time. This is the Bearded Wonder, Jason the Sensation Tuttle, and Rico Constantino. Good night.